Hey, this is Jarrett Lau, the founder of Profitable Properties Boston. In today's session, I'm going to be covering a Proforma and walking you through it. So, first and foremost, this is my Proforma template. Every single landlord may have their own numbers that they go in. This is just something that I personally use and can suggest to a lot of my clients. It really depends. I do have one for a condo and I have one for a multifamily, as it does change the numbers a little bit. What'll end up happening is that we might put a purchase price here that they're selling it for to make a determination on whether it is a deal worth buying. And then we're going to have a list of all the units and how much the current rents are and what we call a pro forma rents, or what we could have as far as rents later on. And this may be after we've done renovations. So at the end of the day, we're going to have the total monthly rent. And then we're going to have these percentages down here as a percentage of the actual income. This is the gross scheduled income, which is just 12 times this amount. And of course, if there's any other things such as laundry, which would be coin op, maybe there's storage in the basement that we could charge for parking, or anything else that we get money from, it would add up to the total income. What we're trying to get to is the NOI, or the net operating income, later on. And we're going to use certain percentages. So first one is capital expenditures. This is money that the bank wants to see that you're putting aside to be able to afford things such as roofs or boilers or things of that nature. You may not spend that money as of today, but at some point you're probably going to end up having to put money in. And it's just like making sure that you have money in a piggy bank. The next thing is management. Depending upon how many units you have under management with us, or that if you're doing it yourself, you might lower this number or increase it. Our standard rate is 6%. And what ends up happening next is our maintenance. Our maintenance, this is for multifamilies. I'm always going to like to hedge on the higher side of things. Of course, if your property is newer, or if it's a condo, it might have less maintenance because there's either less area to take care of or less likelihood of things breaking down. But I'll put 10% just for the safety margin of things. Of course, if I beat these numbers and they're lower, great. That means I make more money. The next thing is bad debt, and bad debt is all about money that you may or may not ever collect ever again. This is very unlikely. However, it is happening once in a great while. That's why we put it at 1.5%. Just something to calculate in, and the banks like to see it as well. The vacancy is 4%. It's historically been even lower than this in the city of Boston. And with us under property management, we have typically zero vacancy because we start 9 months in advance. But the banks, again, want to see this. And again, if I didn't cover it before, banks like to see a pro forma, especially when you're doing a commercial loan. And what it is they treat it as a business. They want to see if there is income at the end of the day. Then this is a cap rate. And what a cap rate, all it is after you've calculated out all your expenses, you're going to have the income minus the expenses, which is your NOI. The NOI divided by this cap rate is going to be the building value. So in this case, at 5% cap rate, it is lower than the $320,000 that I would pay for it, so I would not buy this property. However, if the property was $250,000, it would be worth it if I required a cap rate. And this is the variable that I work with a lot of my clients. Some clients might want higher, some clients might want lower. And as you increase the cap rate in which you want to be able to have in your spreadsheet, what'll end up happening is that then you have to get a lower price for it. And of course, if you lower the cap rate, it can be a higher amount, and now it means that it's worth buying. In addition, of course, the rent's going to be a huge amount. So actually, we might be getting $2,100, and now it increases the value at $400,000, and the cap rate at 5% now works. So it all comes down to making sure that you know the right rent that you're going to get, to not overestimate that. Make sure that you have conservative numbers built in, and then any other expenses that aren't part of this, which are your insurance for the year. And as an insurance agent, I can help you quote this out. Any gas for any common heating or any heating systems that you have to pay for, as well as common electric or for any meters that aren't separate, as well as any water charges. In this, I don't have these because it's a single family and I can even bill back the water to the residents. I'm going to base my down payment on 20 or 25%, and it'll change the numbers based upon the purchase price that we have. And that is a high-level overview of a Proforma and why you should create one and how it'll educate you to make a determination on whether you should be purchasing a specific property or not, and whether it meets your return guidelines, which in this case is a cap rate. We also have them one for cash on cash, but this is a standard one for cap rate. So if you or anyone else you know is looking for a real estate agent that goes above and beyond and really understands the investment game number, please think of Profitable Properties Boston, where we help you go from one to wealthy.